Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today is going to be a little bit of a chit-chatty video, so it might be something you want to put on in the background or while you're doing some jobs. I'm just going to fold some washing and stuff while I have a chat with you all. I've got tons of washing to do. I'm so behind on it and it's just piling up, so I need to get it done. But I'm just going to come on and do this video because I haven't been on for quite a while. We've just been busy with Christmas, and then Willow got a tongue tie snipped at the hospital, so we were busy with that. Obviously we had other things to focus on, but I have got plans for after Christmas with YouTube. I'll talk a bit more about that if I remember and let you all know. She's currently asleep, I'm saying at the moment, but she is having a good wriggle. I had all the camera set up yesterday in the bedroom. I had all the washing out ready to do. I had Willow in a bouncer and she just started screaming the place down. Like, she just decided that she was not happy in that bouncer, so that didn't go ahead. So I sat down ready to film. She started screaming for about half an hour. She was just overtired and she was fighting it so much she wouldn't go to sleep. So I spent about half an hour bouncing around the house, yeah, trying to get her to sleep. She eventually dropped off, but then the video did not happen because I didn't have time. And this is kind of part of what I'm going to talk about today, because sometimes things don't go to plan. Sometimes things don't go perfect to schedule as you want them to when you've got children, and that's okay. But it can be obviously frustrating. So yeah, we're just gonna have a talk about that. I've wrote a few things down in my phone because I was gonna obviously title this video. I'm going to title it My Honest Feelings on Becoming a Mum and What I Struggle With the Most, because I want to put it out there that even though you see all these YouTube videos and, you know, people look like they've got the perfect children and the perfect babies that never cry, never wake up, never stop you from doing what you normally do day to day, I just want to obviously put my honest point of view across what it is like becoming a mum and things that I have struggled with, because let's be honest, everyone struggles at some point when they become a mum or a parent. And yeah, I think we should address that rather than like making it out like parenthood is just like perfect and, you know, nothing goes wrong and everything goes to plan, because it's not like that at all. I mean, it might be for some, and again, this video is not to scare anyone that's due a baby or having a baby, because the good things about having a child completely outweighs the things that you do struggle with, and the things that you struggle with are only temporary. So it's not like you're struggling and, you know, that's going to be your life forever, and that's it, it's over. So I don't want to kind of scare anyone off. I just want to, yeah, put it out there that it's not plain sailing like sometimes you see on the TV or other YouTube videos, and yeah, sometimes you do struggle, but we get there and we get over it. So Willow has now got her eyes wide open, so let's see what happens. She might drift off, but we'll see. I might catch up with you again tomorrow, who knows. But so the first bit of the video, I was going to say that the things that I struggle with, not the most, but the things that I struggle with are, I put a few pointers. So one, the thing that I struggle with is when she is being fussy or clingy or wants to be held all the time. While you're holding her, you want a break from holding her. You just want a break. You just want time to yourself. You just, you know, want to move and do stuff and get stuff done. And then as soon as you put her down, you want to pick her up and cuddle her again. It is like a vicious circle. So whenever she's down, you want to cuddle her. Whenever she's up, you just want space. You can't win with yourself. It honestly, it's like you put her down and you're like, oh, she looks so cute, I just want a cuddle. Yeah, and then you get frustrated that you can't get no done when you've got her. Can't win. But that's one thing that I have found. It's interesting. But second one, I do feel guilty. Well, I did at first. I don't now, she's a little bit older, but I feel guilty laying her down to play by herself while I go off and do jobs. Obviously I'm in the same room, I can see her, but like if I put her on a playmat and I go do some washing up or tidy the kitchen or tidy the living room, I feel guilty that I've just plonked her down there and she's just playing with herself. And I know that putting her down there is important because she needs to learn how to play independently and she needs to be independent as well, and I know that, but at the same time I feel guilty that I'm not there entertaining her or talking to her. I've just kind of just left her down there by herself, because she can't talk obviously yet. I just feel bad that, yeah, I've just left her and she's just kind of staring at some music, and I know that she probably really enjoys that, so I don't know why I feel like that, but I used to feel like that quite a bit, which then made me want to pick her up and carry around with me everywhere. But now she's getting a little bit older, she's starting to interact with stuff and she's starting to like knock stuff with her hand, so I know that she's enjoying it a bit more and she's not just laid there bored, which makes me feel a little bit better. But that's another thing that I've struggled with. Let's have a look. Crying. One thing that people always said about when you have a baby is you will know what their cry means and you will know what they need. Okay, Willow is 11 weeks old and I haven't a clue. Up until now, I will say I know now when she's 11 weeks that her cry is like all whimpery when she's tired, or her cry is like a big cry when she's like really upset about something. I know the difference between them two, but people say that you'll know the difference between each cry. Like you'll know if she's hungry, you'll know if she's fussy, you'll know if she's got gas pain, you'll know if she's got this. And I watched videos and it were like telling you different cries for different things. I didn't have a clue, so I just want to put it out there. Don't feel bad if you don't know what your baby wants, because I never did. She cried and we used to change her, we used to feed her, we used to go through the list because we hadn't a clue. And even after all them, sometimes she still used to cry. She used to cry afterwards and it was like, what do you want? We don't know what you want. And it's so hard at her age because, again, she can't talk, she can't communicate, you don't know what she wants, you don't know, you know, if she wants just a cuddling or she wants feeding or anything else. Now she's got to 11 weeks. She will chew on her hands if she's hungry, but then again she will chew on her hands anyway, so I can't really say that. But like I say, she does have like two different cries. She'll do like a whimpery, like a cry where she's not putting much effort into it if she's tired, and she'll, when she's trying to fight asleep, when she won't go to sleep. And then she'll have another cry where she's like really, really fussy, where she wants something. And you've got to kind of go through that list again because I still don't know what she wants. I haven't a clue. So yeah, it's just kind of working it out and going through the list. I don't know whether she's hungry. I don't know whether she has wind or anything else. Like, I don't know how people can, and you know what, fair play to you if you can tell what your baby's cry is at an early age for every cry. But I tried it, I watched loads of YouTube videos and I didn't get it at all. Could not understand it. Every cry sounded exactly the same to me. And they're saying that every cry sounds different for what they need, but no, it all sounded the same to me. So don't feel bad if you don't know what your baby wants or what your baby needs, because it's not like easy to figure that out. So yeah, I found that bad because I was like hopping into it thinking, oh yeah, I'll know what she wants. And I felt bad for not knowing what she wants because I saw all these videos and they're like, oh, you'll know what your baby needs, like you'll know that she needs feeding. And I'm like, when she's crying and I don't know what she wants, I'm thinking, you know, am I a bad parent? I don't know whether she needs feeding, I don't know whether she wants a cuddle. Like, am I supposed to know this because everyone's telling me that I should? So yeah, don't feel bad. It's perfectly normal. to not know anything that they need. So the next thing on my list is so my honest feelings on becoming a mum, and then I'll tell you what I actually struggle with, what I've struggled with the most. So my honest feelings on becoming a mum. Honestly, I had mixed feelings before she was born. I was obviously really excited more than anything else, and like I say, even though I had these feelings, the positive feelings outweigh the negative feelings. So even though you have these negative feelings, not negative but kind of I don't know, mixed feelings, the positives always outweigh everything else. Okay, she's awake now, I think. Let's see. But yeah, so before I became a mum, when we found out that Jen was pregnant, obviously we were scared to death, absolutely scared to death, because you read all these stories, everyone always tells you, like, make sure you go out, make sure you do things, because you won't be able to go out again. Make sure that you get some sleep, because you'll never get sleep again. That is Willow crying, so I will take you up onto the sofa, I think, see if I can try calm her down. Be back in a minute. Hi guys, so I'm back now after a million years. Been about 2 hours. Willow was obviously getting a bit unsettled, and we had a bit of a playtime in a bouncer, and then I changed her and she's gone back off now, as you can see, but she's don't want to be put down. So we will film this video not folding washing, because every time I've sat down to fold it she's woken up. It's like she knows. So we won't be folding washing, but I will still obviously carry on talking. So I think I was going on about how we felt, so like my feelings on becoming a mum and finding out that we were going to be parents. So like I say, when we found out that Jen was actually pregnant, we was so excited, we could not wait. But yeah, like I said before, we were scared to death. Obviously your whole life's going to change, it's not you two anymore. And there are things still that happen now that you didn't even think of before. But yeah, it's not you two anymore, and your whole lives, you know that your whole lives are going to change, and you're going to have to, you know, bring up a baby and look after a baby, which is scary in itself, because if you've not had children before, then you want to make sure that you do things right and everything else. So yeah, it's kind of a scary thought. But then when she gave birth, obviously Willow's absolutely amazing, but again, you're still scared to death. For the first 2 weeks that she was born, that we was at home, to me that is just a blur now, them 2 weeks. I can't even remember what happened in them 2 weeks. We were trying to get into a new routine. It's hard because when they're little, they can be like clingy and want to be held all the time, and which is completely fine, but when you are trying to eat your tea, obviously it's a little bit difficult. And even now, she's 11 weeks now, and she will let you put her down and stay asleep while you're having tea sometimes. But me and Adam were saying the other day, we literally sometimes, like nowadays, we don't even eat tea together. It'll be Adam will have his first plate, and I'll be holding or bouncing Willow or trying to play with her and entertain her because she'll be awake, and she don't want to be sat by herself anymore because she gets bored. And then we'll switch, and Adam will look after Willow and I'll eat my tea. So it's very rare that we do get tea together, and that can be a little bit hard sometimes when you're not spending time together like that and you don't have as much time for each other. So the main thing that's obviously the most important is to always talk to each other, and communication is absolutely everything. Like if you're stressed that day, tell your other half or your partner, or even a family member if you're by yourself. Tell them that you're stressed, have a good rant. I mean, I phone my mum and Paul and have a good rant over the phone if I've had a hard day, or if Adam's at work and Willow's been carrying on, and you know, I'm a little bit stressed. I just phone up, and just to get it out of your system helps. But yeah, always communicate with your partner, because that's like vital, because if they know how you feel, then they can help you and make things easier. But if you don't tell them how you feel, like, they don't know that you're struggling, so they don't know how to help you, or whether to help you, or you know, what they can do to make things easier. And when I say struggling, it's not a bad thing. Like, we're all going to struggle with some things as a parent, because you know, when your baby is crying for, I mean, Willow used to have like what they call a witching hour, and she used to have it between, first of all, it were 11 at night till 3 in the morning, where she used to just constantly be unsettled. Then it was like 7 till 11, it shifted a bit forward. Now it gets shorter and shorter as they get older, so she don't really cry for that long now. But between like 7 and 11, when she'd been crying for at least 2 hours continuously, not like crying continuously, but like stopping and then crying again, and just being unsettled, and having a whinge and not being able to be put down, it can get exhausting. So when you're doing that for 2 hours, 3 hours solid, it can be exhausting. And I'm not gonna lie, there's been times where sometimes you just have to stand there, and if you're rocking her like this, you just have to stand there, close your eyes for 2 seconds, and just have a breathe, like, just take a deep breath, and just think that, you know, just zone out for a second, and just think that this is temporary. Like, it is gonna get better, and you need to remember that. I know it's hard to remember in the moment, because there's been times where she's been crying for at least a couple of hours, and I said to Adam, like, you need to take her, I'm about to have a meltdown. And we'll laugh about it, because I'm not going to have a meltdown, but you feel like it at the time. And we have a laugh about it, and then Adam will kind of chip in, and he'll help out, so it takes the pressure off of me. I'll go upstairs and have a bath, and just take some time out to myself, or I'll just go in the kitchen and I'll cook tea that night, so then I have a break, because I'm obviously with her all through the day as well, so it can get a lot, it can get too much at times. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not been easy, it's all not been plain sailing, like everyone makes it out to be. There are times, like I say, when she's unsettled, when she wants to be held all the time, like today, well, yesterday as well. I went to go sit down, set all the camera up and everything in the bedroom, took all the washing out, and she started crying, and that was it. I didn't get anything done that day, and it can be so frustrating when you sat there on the sofa, and even though you're enjoying the cuddles, you're looking around you and you can see that things need doing, and you know that things need doing, and it can be really frustrating. And just frustrating more than anything else, that you can't get them things done because you have to just sit here and, you know, make sure that they're calm and that they're getting some sleep. So yeah, it can be hard, and I know that now, but sometimes people portray it a lot different. I watched vlogs before Willow was here, and I never really expected it to be easy, because I know obviously friends that have had children and stuff, but some vlogs that I've seen, it's like you won't see them waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and, you know, feeding them while they're half asleep and dropping off, and waking up the morning and being absolutely shattered, and then them crying for like hours on end, and you'll just see them like smiling and bouncing around in the bouncer, and then the next clip they'll be having a bottle and they'll be feeding fine. I'll get to feeding in a minute, because that has been a nightmare. That has been the worst thing ever. But yeah, you'll just see them feeding, like having the bottle or breastfeeding, and then the next minute they'll be kicking around, having fun in the play gym, and you don't see the in-between bits. Like, you don't see them struggling to vac up that day because they can't put them down or anything else. And I just think that, yeah, I just think it can be a bit misleading sometimes when you watch vlogs like that. that's why I like doing the 24-hour vlogs, because I will literally vlog everything and show you how it is. I know if she's screaming for an hour, then you know, you'll see her screaming. And I am going to do a 24-hour vlog after this as well. Yeah, so I'll go on to the one thing that I have found the most, that I have struggled with the most, which is feeding. It's been one thing that I didn't think I would struggle with at all, because before you have a baby, you see people bottle feeding the babies or breastfeeding the babies, and you know what's hard about that? You mix the formula, you feed them, they drink it, 3 hours later, 4 hours later, you feed them again. So yeah, I thought that feeding would be the easiest thing ever. We got the Hip organic milk formula, sorry. So we got that for Willow, and she started having some like stomach problems. She was bringing her knees up to her stomach, and she was crying like really bad. Like I say, sometimes it was for a couple of hours. But it wasn't crying where you couldn't console her. Like if you held her, like I said in my previous video, if you held her with like a belly to you like this, with pressure on her belly, then she would be fine. She'd settle because she had pressure on her stomach. So I took her to the doctors. This is where the whole feeding thing started, and they gave her some Caliph drops, I think they're called, and told me to put her onto comfort milk. So now she's on Hip organic comfort, like the comfort range, which you can't get anywhere. You can only get it at certain Morrisons, or because we're in the UK, so you can only get it at certain Morrisons or certain, I haven't seen it in an Asda. You can order it online at Boots, but then you have to order it a couple of days before you need it. Sometimes you forget because obviously you're busy with everything else. So they gave us the Caliph drops, and we started with them. And what you have to do is you put the drops into the, oh no, we didn't have the comfort milk then, sorry. We had the normal milk. And then what you do is you put the Caliph drops into the formula once you've mixed it all up. You've got to then wait half an hour for the Caliph drops to break down the lactose, like enzymes in the milk. Then you can give your baby it. Now that seems okay, but babies don't drink at a certain time every single day, or between a certain amount of hours when they're first born. So she was having bottles like maybe every 2 hours, every 3 hours, maybe longer, maybe shorter. We couldn't predict when her next bottle was. So if she woke up and she was hungry and she needed a bottle and she was crying and you know she wanted it there and then, we had to then put the Caliph drops in, leave her and try to settle her for half an hour while we were waiting for them to work, and then feed her. And by then she was like inconsolable and she didn't even want a bottle. And especially at night time, I mean, come on, we want to wake up, we want to feed us baby, and we want to go back to sleep. We don't want to sit there for half an hour before we even feed them, waiting for some drops to work. So I rang the health visitor up and I asked some advice from her, which I recommend if you have a health visitor. I think they're called something different in America. But we have a health visitor that comes round and weighs them and checks them and everything. When your health visitor comes round, ask them anything you want, no matter if you think it's stupid, if you think it's a silly question, or anything, just ask them. They've been to probably hundreds and thousands of different houses with different babies, with different situations. I'm sure they've heard it all before, and they are there to help. That is their job. So yeah, ask them if you've got any issues or any problems at all. Ask them and they will help. So I gave them a call, told them that the Caliph drops were obviously not really suitable for us. They didn't seem to be doing much either. So she told us to try the comfort milk, which has lower lactose in it. So it doesn't take away the whole lactose, but it lowers, it's got lower lactose in it. So I think the comfort milk has like 2 grams, I think, of lactose, and the normal milk has 6 grams of lactose, so it's got nearly a third of the lactose in it. So we put her on the comfort milk, which seemed to be fine for a bit, and then she was falling asleep towards the end of the bottles. So at this point we were giving her 3-ounce bottles. She wasn't even finishing the 3-ounce, she was just dropping off, wasn't finishing them, wasn't eating much. Some days she were only eating like 14-ounce, not even that. The health visitor came round. Obviously she checks how much she's been feeding and everything. When she was first born, she'd put on that much weight, she went straight up to the 50th percentile. But then when she came the second time, she dropped to the 25th percentile. So then she had to come every 2 weeks just to weigh her to make sure she stayed on that 25th, because sometimes, or most of the time, it is normal for them to drop. But as long as they stay on that percentile, then that's fine. But because she dropped, she came back and weighed her. Luckily she was fine. She just on the 25th percentile. That's just the one that she stays at. But because she had a slight tongue tie towards the back of her tongue, the health visitor was saying that could be a reason why she's falling asleep at the end of the feeds, before the end of the feed. So she could be like sucking on the teat that much because she can't get the right position in her mouth. She could be getting tired out and just falling asleep because she can't be bothered anymore. So she booked her in for a tongue tie cut, which I wasn't happy about at first. I talked about it in her update video and it all turned out fine. She had it cut and yeah, she was fine. She's drinking loads better now. But before that, before she had it cut, she started being sick one day. I woke up in the morning and she was not being sick. Well, it was sick, but it was just water. And she was being sick a lot. She was, every time I put the bottle in her mouth and she took one gulp or one, like, swallowed once, she would be screaming before I'd even finished, and she wouldn't want to drink the rest of her milk. So I rang the doctors again. Well, I actually rang 111 because I tried the doctors about 40 odd times. They're absolutely ridiculous. They were just engaged every time, and she was continuously like being sick about once every hour. So I was getting a bit worried because she wasn't eating much. Sorry, I was talking too much there, I got cut off. But yeah, because she wasn't eating much and she was being sick as well, I was thinking, well, she's not really going to have much in her because it's all just coming back out. So I rang 111. They said, ring your doctors and tell them we'll send a referral over and tell them that you need to see someone or speak to someone today. So I rang them back, and they were really good, to be fair. An hour later the doctor rang me back. I explained all her symptoms and everything, and he said that he thinks that she has a bit of acid reflux. So he prescribed her some Gaviscon infant. Now, you can't give it to babies younger than 1 unless it is prescribed by the doctors. So yeah, I don't think you can buy it over the counter here in the UK anyway, because I tried to have a look for it before that, but you can't get hold of it. I think it has to be prescribed. So he prescribed Gaviscon infant. That was a whole new story because we came back. He told us to put 2 sachets in her 4-ounce bottle. Oh no, a 4-ounce bottle, but she was only drinking 3-ounce. So we had to make up a 4-ounce bottle. And then she were only obviously drinking 3-ounce of it. So probably not having any of the Gaviscon that went in. Well, not all of it anyway. So that were a nightmare. And then we was putting 2 sachets in. And because the comfort milk is thicker than the normal milk, so we was on the comfort milk at this point. And obviously we were putting 2 sachets of Gaviscon in as well, which also thickens the milk. So every time she was drinking, the teat was getting blocked with the how thick the milk was, and we was on size 2 teats because we moved up a teat as well. So it wasn't like we needed to move up a teat. It was just the milk was so thick, it was getting blocked. So she was crying in between feeds, and I had to constantly unblock the teat. At one point, I cleaned like the things that we do is unbelievable. I cleaned a cocktail stick, and she was having 2 sips of milk. Then I was putting the cocktail stick in the teat to unblock it, 2 sips, cocktail stick. This was at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was the longest feed ever. I think it must have taken nearly an hour, because I was taking it out of her mouth, like prodding it with the cocktail stick to unblock it, then letting her have another drink. Oh, like, honestly, it were a nightmare, absolute nightmare. So we were doing that. Eventually I put her down to 1 sachet. I put 1 sachet in the bottle, and that seemed to work, and she seemed to be fine. She stopped being sick, and she stopped like crying when I was feeding her, so she was feeding fine. So then after she fed fine and had her tongue tie snipped, she was then started drinking 4 ounce and sometimes 5 ounce. So at the moment, touch wood, we are fine with the feeding. We are on a balance, on a level that works for us at the moment. My arm is getting so tired. Like, her head weight, like, have you seen how big her head is now? Like, it's huge. And it's so heavy. My arm is aching like mad. Normally I sit on the sofa with like a pillar underneath it, but you end up being like this. Like, your arm ends up being down here. Oh, she's got an eye open. She likes to snuggle in. It worries me when she's like this though, because I think that she can't breathe. But as long as one of her nose holes are uncovered, then she's fine. But yeah, so the Gaviscon, that's what I was saying. So luckily we are on track at the moment. She's having 1 sachet of Gaviscon in a bottle. She's on the comfort milk, and we're all good. We're all good at the moment. Hopefully nothing else will go wrong with the feeding, but like I say, that has been the most stressful thing ever. And it's been surprising, to be honest, because I didn't think that that would be stressful. I thought that, like I say, because I watched videos and stuff before, I saw other people feeding the babies. It's just, you know what, make a bottle, feed them, they'll take it, and then it's done. But no, we've been through all sorts with the feeding. We've been back and forth to the doctors. We've tried Caliph drops. We've tried gripe water. We didn't know what it was, because obviously I took her to the doctors. The doctor felt her tummy and everything, and listened to her stomach and lungs and everything else, and he said that everything sounded fine, so he didn't really know what it was. That was when he gave us the Caliph drops. They gave us laxative because they thought that she was bunged up. She has literally got a full medical cupboard just for herself. We have got, and when they were prescribing us Gaviscon, when we were using 2 a day, they were prescribing us 30 sachets. Obviously it only lasts 2-3 days, 2.5 days including nights. So we were phoning for a prescription, and then because those prescriptions take a day to go through, I was ringing up the day after to get another prescription, so we didn't run out of that one. But luckily they prescribed us quite a few boxes this time, because I did tell them when I got through, like, I'm blocking your lines up every other day, because, you know, we're getting 1 box at a time that's not lasting 2 minutes. So we got quite a few boxes this time, so that's good. But yeah, she's drinking 4 ounce every 4 hours, or if she drinks 5 ounce, she'll go 5 hours. So yeah, we're on track with the feeding. Thank the Lord, because that was like the biggest thing ever. It were a nightmare. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video just to, like, say to everyone, you're not by yourself if you're struggling. You know, it's not all plain sailing. We still come into difficulties today, like now. I can't fold the washing. I've got a big tub of washing here at the side of me. Can't fold any of it because, you know, she wants to be held. And, you know, I try to figure out what to have for my dinner, because she might want to be held at dinner, and then I've got to figure out, you know, what can I eat, because sometimes if she's crying, I can't just sit there and ignore her and have my dinner if she's like crying her eyes out at the side of me. So yeah, you have got to plan your life around theirs quite a bit through the day. I mean, most of the time her routine fits in with us, but yeah, when she needs attention, she needs attention, and there's there's not much you can do about it. You've got to give them attention, and you know, your dinner slots in wherever it can do, whether it be 3 o'clock in the afternoon or whenever. Yesterday I only had a cup of soup with some bread dipped in, because that was a quick dinner and that's all I could get while she were in a bouncer. Otherwise I would have starved to death, and had my dinner at about 4 o'clock. So yeah, like I say, there's been struggles, and how I felt on becoming a mum has not been, it's not been perfect. It's not all been like all roses. It's not been, yeah, I feel absolutely fine and I've got no worries, no problems at all, like everything's perfect. It's not been like that at all. You have so many mixed emotions when you know you're expecting and when the baby first comes along. It's like I say, it's a massive change, and it does take quite a few weeks to get into that routine, especially when you're used to having 8 hours of sleep at night, and then you know you're getting up at 12 and then 3 and then 6, and yeah, it can take a while to settle in. But I'm just letting you know that she's 11 weeks now and things are getting easier. But that's not to say that we will struggle again, because no doubt when she gets into a sleep routine and when she gets better through the day at settling, then obviously teething will come along and we'll start all again, and then the 4-month sleep progression that everyone says that you go through, we'll probably go through that, and you know, everything will get turned upside down again. So it's a constant emotional like roller coaster. But yeah, all we can do is do as best. And yeah, if you need 2 minutes, the health visitor always said to me, if you need 2 minutes, they're not gonna, you know, they're not gonna die if you leave them in a room for 2 minutes while they are crying. Just put them somewhere safe, like on the play mat, obviously not on the sofa because they might roll off depending how old they are, but somewhere safe, like on the play mat or on the changing mat on the floor, and just go into the kitchen or go into a different room for 2 minutes, have a breather, make yourself a cup of tea. They're gonna be fine. They're just crying, as long as obviously they're not hungry or they don't need any instant attention like food or anything, you know, any basic needs. But if they are just crying and unsettled, then take 2 minutes out to yourself. I'm over on Instagram. I think it's called the Jarrett Family Official, all one word. So if you want to inbox me on there, if you are struggling, or if you just want someone to rant to, or you just want to chat. I mean, I like having a good rant about the struggles that I've had through the day. I normally ring my mum and Paul and just have a good hour, like getting it all out, and then I think, right, breathe, let's start again. Let's start afresh. Now we've got all that out. But yeah, I'm over on Instagram if anyone wants to message me on there or follow me on Instagram. I do need to get better at that. I am going to get better at that through the new year, like after Christmas, because I don't really post that much on there. She's having a bit of a wriggle. And my plans for YouTube that I was going to tell you all. And first of all, if you are struggling, or if you've had any problems like I've had, or like you found something in particular the most stressful, do comment below and let me know, so I know that I'm not alone as well. Like there are other people that are struggling out there, because sometimes you feel like you're on the struggle bus by yourself, and like I say, sometimes it is portrayed like for everyone else to have like perfect babies when they're not. What's up? Now she's having a bit of a wriggle now. Oh, I think she's getting herself comfy again. Sometimes her stomach really hurts because she's on Gaviscon as well. It bungs them up, so another thing. So sometimes I do give her a bit of laxative that they've prescribed, but sometimes she'll be asleep like this and then she'll get like a griping pain in her stomach. So she'll pull her legs up and then she'll start crying, so then I have to stand up and bounce her all over again back to sleep. But yeah, comment below, let me know that I'm not on the struggle bus by myself sometimes. Alright. And yeah, with YouTube, I've decided after Christmas that I am going to give YouTube a good go, more of a go than what I have done, because I just post now and again when I've got time, or sometimes I won't post for weeks. And yeah, I do actually enjoy editing the videos, and it's kind of like a hobby that I have. I enjoy editing the videos, I enjoy putting them together, I enjoy like I say, making the videos as well. We're at 99 subscribers, so I want to get to 100 before Christmas. We're on I think we're on the 17th of December today, so we've got until Christmas. We need 100 subscribers. Then I am in 3 figures, which makes me so happy, even though it's not that many to some people. But yeah, it'd make me so happy if we got to 100 before Christmas. But yeah, YouTube, I'm going to give a good go next year. I'm going to aim to do like 1 video a week, maybe on a Friday. So then if I put it up on a Friday, I know that people are so busy through the week with work and family life and everything else. So I thought if I put it up on a Friday, then people will have chance to watch it like on a Friday night, or at the weekend when they've got 2 minutes, when the partners or whoever's at home and they've got, you know, 2 minutes to just sit down in front of the computer or the phones and have a good watch of a YouTube video. Because posting it through the week don't really make sense, because, you know, people are just so busy with their day-to-day lives and everything nowadays, which is understandable. And if you've got more than 1 child, then well done, because yeah, I don't know, I know that we obviously find ways to cope and we do get through it, but yeah, well done, because I don't think that I could have 2 young, especially like 2 under 2s or something like that. I don't know how people do it. Yeah, so if we have another one, it won't be for a while yet. So I'm going to give YouTube a good go. I'm going to try post once a week, because, you know, we do loads of stuff day to day. Willow's getting older now, she's doing a lot more stuff, and we can do a lot more stuff with her, a lot more of activities and everything. Obviously we've got Christmas coming up, so there'll be a few nice vlogs there. So yeah, if you are new, obviously subscribe to our channel just to keep following and watching our videos. And like I say, if you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys.